Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 11 of this SMA GT500 Championship. This is the penultimate round in Season 1 and the last race in the 2016 Group 2 series, with the special event to follow. Once again, it was Levitius who won at a canter in the last round to claim his 8th win in 10 and is now on to become champion of SMA Season 1. I am Flawed Genius Gaming, taking you through tonight, and will be joined by my amazing and unmistaken Scotsman, who luckily today has left his kilt at home, so no need to avert my eyes this time around. It is the legendary presenter from the stars of SMA, Hugh Hatrick. Good evening to you, Hugh, and how are you today?
I'm very well, Sean, and good evening to you and to everybody watching. It's fantastic to see you as we are racing again on the penultimate round of the SMA GT500 Championship. Yes, thoroughly looking forward to this race, and I've had a fantastic week driving with my new wheel, firing on all 12 cylinders. So yes, looking forward to some legendary commentary with you tonight, Sean, and for the SMA 500 GT500 Championship, it's going to be a great race, I am sure.
Yeah, I hope so too, Hugh. And I know that Sir Mags was saying that you'll probably be challenging Tier 1 with that new wheel now. So love to see it.
I love that. I love that kind of generous spirit there of confidence in my abilities. I better not let him down.
Well, SMA is sponsored by Simulator. Sorry, me getting ahead of myself. SMA is sponsored by Simulator Cave, the haven for all your high-end sim goodies. Your number one place for all your sim racing requirements. Link is in the description below. And go onto their website, simulatorcave.com, for all your simulator needs. SMA is also sponsored by TGSE Cape Town Golf Academy, the hotbed of nurturing talented golfing students to reach their full potential. And proudly associated with IMSA Motorsport South Africa, partnered by the FIA, the only place for official leagues in South Africa. So I guess it's time to find out what's in store for round 11 tonight. Hugh, take it away with the details, please.
Well, here we are, round 11. It's flowing in of our 12-week season in the SMA GT500 Championship. And we are in the south coast of America in Florida, the Florida Keys of the Daytona International Speedway, the road course configuration. Now, it's actually a place I've been to in real life. In fact, I've been there twice. It is a fantastic track, 5.730 kilometers long, 12 corners, and of course, located in the USA. Now, it's anti-clockwise, but we're using part of the oval track and then the inbound track as well. So it might not be too much tyre wear on the ovals, but quite a lot on the inbound course. Now, our fuel consumption is 3 times 3, and our tyre wear is times 4. The qualifying is 10 minutes, and the race is 32 laps. This time, we've not got a grid start, it is a rolling start. So a first for the series so far. And with tyre wear at times 4, I've been watching in the practice. Some people can manage to get 5 or 10 laps on those racing softs. Others are struggling with just 2 or 3 laps on the racing softs before they're getting pretty worn. So it's going to be very, very interesting who is going to be able to cope with the tyre wear. Now, as I said, we've got a rolling start, so they're going to have to start. It's going to be a bit different. How will that portray throughout the race? Will they be able to make up places on the first few corners? We'll have to wait and see. But we're using the 2016 cars, the last time that they'll be used in the series. And we've got the Lexus RCF, we've got the Honda NSX, and we've got the Nissan Nismo GTR, all from 2016. They've shown us how to drive these cars so well over the last number of races, Sean, but I'm sure this will be a cracker. The final kind of go in the 2016 cars on this wonderful championship to see the top racing drivers from South Africa doing their best attempt to go for the title. So, thoroughly looking forward to it, Sean, and it's over to you.
Yep, okay. I was about to get on to the the results from the last round. We are just having a few technical issues at the moment, so we're just trying to reconnect to the lobby right now. So I think...
Can I tell you a funny story that might help fill in the time?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because when I was at Daytona back in 2008, that was the first time I went there, they thought I was a senior, and I was only 34 years old. Not even that, 33 years old. And I waited in line to get my ticket, and when my mate bought his ticket, the lady behind the counter looked at me and said, "Oh, do you want a senior's ticket?" And I went, "Do I look that old already?" So yes, so she was about to give me a half-price ticket, so I should have said yes. But there you have it. It's a wonderful tour actually, and this, the sun sets beautifully, and you just see the sun setting on the track. When you were there, you could actually drive a proper NASCAR racing car for just $150. That was all it cost back in 2008, and the noise from these things were incredible. But I thought I might be able to get into it, but getting out, being slightly more weighty than I should be, I might struggle to get out. So I decided not to go for a drive. But at that time, $150, that's all it was.
Wow, that is some story there, and yeah, I wish things were that cheap these days. Yeah, it's crazy pricey, but it does look like, Hugh, that we're able to get connected again. So hopefully no more problems. We're trying to iron out the disconnect issues that some of the drivers have been experiencing in the last sort of couple of weeks, and also a few people not being able to connect as well, which is always going to be a problem. But yeah, let me take you through to the story of round 10 at Nürburgring. So it was Levitius that recorded yet another victory, making it 7 wins on the spin. And speaking of spins, after Deke looked very competitive in the first part of the race, initially taking the lead as well, spun on the curb and subsequently crashed into a wall and left his championship hopes in tatters, leaving Levitius the easy task to claim his 8th win of the season. As a result, it was VSR's Wolfie that stormed home to claim his best performance of the season, finishing in 2nd position after many overtakes from the start. After his crash, it looked certain Deke mathematically was having to concede his championship push when he was down to as far as 9th, but worked hard to make amends, and with the help of retirements from VSR Richard and JDJ, he managed to fight his way up the grid to 3rd position, giving him the slenderest of chances to fight for another round. As a result, also, it was VSR Fish who managed to grab a brilliant 4th, and Puma's Neil to secure his best result of the season to finish in 5th. Then it was VSR Galara, who came home in 6th, and TNR's Joubert to claim his best result of the season to finish in 7th. And equaling his best result of the season from round 3, it was Puma's Mac to finish in 8th position, and the last one to finish was TNR's Whipperman in 9th position, as we had a total of 5 retirements in the race. We had 2 VSR drivers in Richard and JDJ, the 2 TNR drivers in Papaya Racer and Captain Slow, and lastly, MGR's Kennels disconnected from the race to leave with nil points. So how does that look for the drivers' standings? Well, that means the standings after 10 rounds, with the last drop round in play now, sees Levitius extend his lead to 47 points over teammate Deke. Levitius just needs a 7th or better, depending if Deke wins this race, to be mathematically secured as SMA Season 1 champion. Deke has to get the win no matter what, otherwise he will be conceding the championship to finish 2nd where he is now. Things are definitely hotting up for 5 drivers though, still battling for that 3rd position. Remember that the top 3 drivers will receive a prize at the end of the season. VSR teammates Richard and Wolfie are 3 points apart for 3rd and 4th, 17 points further down and tied for 5th with 3,088 points is TNR's Papaya Racer and VSR's JDJ, with teammate Giller just 2 points behind in 7th. In 8th we've got VSR Fish, 9th we've got Puma's Neil, and the top 10 for Captain Slow. Closely followed behind is Puma's Mac in 11th, 3 points behind is TNR's Whipperman in 12th, and then there's a fight for 13th with TNR's Joubert occupying that position with MGR's Kennels just 3 points behind in 14th. And with just 2 races remaining for this season's championship, it's not a lot of time to get the job done. So best of luck to all the drivers. Should be an absolute belter. But Hugh, how's the conditions looking out there for the drivers? And over to you.
Well, it looks like a typical Floridian day with blue skies, hardly any clouds, and just fantastic conditions. And when they're using the different tyres tonight, the racing soft, the medium and the hard, they all have to be used today. So that will be a challenge for them. But no, it looks like there's not going to be any rain as far as we can see on our server tonight. And what's very interesting is that I don't think I've ever seen a Group 2 car race at Daytona on the in-course, on the full course. So it's going to be it's an exciting venue, and to see these cars with so much downforce, lots of grip, and lots of speed. This is perfect, I think, for a combination for the championship. And let's see, will it give us a different winner? Will it mix up the podium? Will we get people who are towards the bottom end of the championship getting some extra points tonight and showing us what they can do? But no, this is going to be a great venue, and I'm sure we'll see a great race. So yes, for you watching in the comments there on YouTube, let us know who you're supporting. Let us know who you want to win and what you think is going to happen tonight when we watch the top drivers from South Africa compete in what is the top sim racing event, the SMA GT500 Championship. Sean, I can't wait till it gets started.
Yeah, I can't wait either, actually. And this is like one of the first races where I'm not sure what to expect, really, because for the first time, it's all 3 tyre compounds that needs to be used at some point in this race. So obviously we know the soft tyres are the fastest, but how severe will the tyre wear be for the drivers, being that the tyre wear is at ×4? So and also as well, we get to see the differences in the manufacturers as well, because of course I've been told that the GTR does use up a little bit more fuel, so I don't know. We'll see how they get on, of course, and we'll see the true power of each of the manufacturers as well. So will it be the GTR with the most power? Will it be the NSX? Who knows? We are going to find out very, very shortly, because we have a 32-lap race here at the Daytona International Speedway with a 10-minute qualifier, of course, as we just watched on board with Deakin with a lovely spin there, and quali is about to get underway. So like clockwork, 5 minutes past 9 Eastern Africa time, and yeah, we're going to see who's going to come out first, who is normally the host, who is Mac, I do believe, isn't it? So yes, he's the first one to come out on track. This might be the first time we're actually showing Mac on a lap here, like a full lap, that is. Anyways, good luck to all the drivers out there, and welcoming everyone that's in chat. I have to say a good evening to Anne-Marie, to Shane, to Sir Mags, and I think it's Tian as well. And if I've pronounced that incorrectly, do tell me, because I get everyone's names wrong. So but welcome everyone, and those that are new to the channel, please do consider hitting that subscribe button, and for those that are in the chat as well, do smash that like button, because it really does help the channel out and really push that algorithm and the content to everyone across the globe. So please make sure you do that before you do anything. Yeah, let us know who you're cheering on, who you feel like will be grabbing the race victory, and let us know your top 3 as well. That'll be very interesting. But yeah, we're on board with Puma Racing Mac then coming through that deadly bus stop chicane for the first time, and he did navigate that well. It's very easy to get a penalty there, so it looked like Puma was as clean as you like through the bus stop chicane to start his new lap then, and we'll see how Puma Racing Mac gets on. So let's walk you through a lap at Daytona International Speedway, the road course configuration as he comes through turn number 1. And yeah, the names of the corners are a lot left to be desired as we come through the Rodriguez International Horseshoe at turn number 3, and then we've got the famously named Dogleg at turn number 4 and the West Horseshoe at turn number 5 now. Then it is down the back straight here, and then a bit of a hairpin for turn number 6, and there is no name for that, it's just turn number 6 and turn number 7 onto turn number 8. And then we're on to the back stretch coming up to the Le Mans chicane for turn number 9 and 10, and that is probably the most crucial part of the circuit. As I said, very easy to cut the curb and pick up a half a second penalty for cutting track limits, and he goes slightly wide, but actually got good speed out of there and gets away with not getting a penalty. So we'll see what kind of lap times he can produce here and how the drivers behind will follow suit, because he's got quite the gap behind actually. So he's not going to have that slipstream down the straight, but he comes across the line with a 1 minute 35.5. And we've got JDJ now, who's looking actually a lot quicker. 1 minute 34.5 for him, and it's looking like the times are flooding in now. JDJ is still on pole position then with that 1 minute 35.4. Sorry, 1 minute 34.5 even. And we've got Deaky just about to come across the line now. It doesn't look like he's going to set the world alight there then. So we'll see if he can get quicker as things go on, because Levitius is now on pole position with a 1 minute 34.287. So Hugh, what are your thoughts so far in this 10-minute qualifying session?
Yes, it's that final chicane, as you say, the Le Mans chicane, because you've got to keep as much momentum. But if you go in too fast, you'll go wide as you exit that. And that's what we're going to be looking out for, to see who will pick up penalties. So far, it's been pretty clean, and people are using a lot more than the curb, which I'm always amazed at for those track limits, because you're virtually on the grass trying to get out of that corner. But they're getting on there. Levitius has a 2.5 tenths lead over JDG at the moment, so can JDG go any faster? He's just going through the chicane now. Looked a little bit wobbly, but he goes on to the final corner, and he's just 0.056 down on his time, so he's not too far away. And this is the final section here as they come onto the straight, and we come in to the stadium, which is packed full of stands. Oh, it looks like he's coming into the pits, so he's abandoned that lap, so maybe he's going to put on a new set of racing softs. But Levitius is showing again. Oh, Richard! PSR Richards just got into pole position there with a great time, a 34.160. An excellent lap there, and he's just over a tenth of a second ahead of Levitius. But where is Levitius? He's coming to cross the line, and he takes pole position back there by 2.5 tenths, or 0.241. So it's all to play for, Sean.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we was on board with Richard, as you was brilliantly commentating on there. Wolfie actually has gone 2 tenths purple through sector 1. So can Wolfie keep up with that pace, because he is currently 4.5 tenths down on pole sitter Levitius, but certainly the Honda drivers looking A lot stronger, because Wolfie has often said that he's not the greatest in qualifying, but right now he's just under 0.2 of a second purple through sector 2. He's certainly got that slipstream to VSR Richards, so he's really timed it to perfection. The lead is by a tenth now, so he's started to come down a little bit, but even so, still purple. If he can get, is that a penalty, or is he? Yes, he.
He thought it was just a little bit fidgety. You could just see him trying to steer that car, and it was just a little bit off. I don't know if he's on a controller or if he's on a wheel, but certainly that was it was almost, he was just a fraction away, but he's coming back into the pits to abandon that lap. But it's close, very, very close. VSR Richard is just 0.241 behind Levitti. So you get the feeling if they can just get that good lap, there's going to be next to nothing in it.
Yes, indeed. Well, we're on board with Deaky now. Currently P6, right behind Papaya Racer now. And he's going to move up to P3. But it's Fish up into P3 now with a very, very good time of a 1:34.2. So a good lap there from Fish. It's certainly going to be close, I think, Hugh, because we are talking maybe a second between the top... 9? Maybe.
That's very good.
1.2 seconds between the top 10, with Captain Slow just a 10th down in 11th, and Puma Racing Mac just a 10th down on Captain Slow. So yeah, very, very tight. 1.6 seconds is the gap between all the drivers across the grid. So yeah, it's gonna really come down to who's got the nerve through the bus stop chicane, as Levitius looks like he's going a little bit quicker. He's half a tenth up on his previous best. Of course, he is the pole sitter right now with that 1:33.9. So yeah, just looking at the chat, yeah, the Honda is very fast around here, I have to say. But then you've got Levitius, haven't you, in the GTR? He is now a 10th up on his previous best, and purple as well through sector 2. So it's just whether or not he can get a good exit out of the bus stop chicane then. He is still just under a 10th up on his previous best as he approaches the bus stop chicane now. And what kind of line? Oh, no, he goes wide. Okay. Never mind. So Levitius back into the pits, and I don't think he's going to get another lap in. So who have we got near the line coming up?
Richard's on a good lap, or he's on his, I think, probably his last flying lap.
Well, I'm on board with Captain Slow at the moment, because he's just about to come across the line now. Can he improve? Yes, he can, but only up into P10. 2 tenths up on his previous best lap time of a 1:35.1, I think. So, yeah, if we can find someone that's quite close to the line. Puma Racing Mac is just about to come across the line. He goes better by 1/10 of a second, but only P12 for him. Neil improves by just under a 10th, but 13th for him. Now we've got Kennels, who is just behind. If we could try and find someone who's at the front of this pack. Yep. So we've got VSR Richard now. Who is in front of him? It's JDJ. So let's have a look on board with JDJ first then. No, he's got half a second penalty. So Richard, can he capitalise on that slipstream and go quicker here? He is currently 2.5 tenths down on his previous 2.5 tenths down on Levitius. Can he go any quicker? Not quite. So he's going to remain in P2. And Wolfie wasn't able to improve either. Papaya races on his final lap now. Kennels did improve and move up into 8th position, but Papaya Racer 3 tenths down on his previous best, so goes back into the pits, and I think that is qualifying.
Yep, there you go. Very close though, very close. It's only Levitius who could get into the 33s. Everyone else is in the 34s. But there's not much in it, and with a rolling start, well, will they make it through turn 1? Will they be closing up on those little gaps? They've got to use every tyre as well, so we're looking at a minimum of 2 stops But yes, that was a great qualifying session. And once again, Levitius ends up on top with a 1 minute 33.919.
Indeed, and VSR Richard will start alongside him in second position. Yeah, 2.5 tenths down on Levitius. So even though people were saying the Honda is very quick, well, you know, these two drivers said something different with the P1 and 2 there. VSR Fish, though, will qualify in third position in that NSX with D-Key closely behind him in P4. Then VSR Wolfie will start in fifth position with VSR JDJ in sixth position. Papaya Racer down into P7 though. Was expecting a little bit better from him. He's got it all to do from that position with Kennels in eighth position. That is a good qualifying from him. VSR Giller will start from ninth position and Captain Slow in 10th position. Latari Racing will start from 11th and in front of the Puma Racing Boys of Neil in 12th and Mac in 13th, and then TNR Whipperman will be starting at the back of the grid. But what I will say with Whipperman is that even though he's looking quite lowly down there in P14, he's going to have that slipstream, and I'm sure the drivers in front of him are going to be battling away as we go through the road course. So it's not looking all gloomy for him. I'm sure, you know, if he has a good run, he could propel a few positions, I think, Hugh.
Yeah, I think it's all to play for. And also there's some very tricky corners. We've seen a lot of spins in practice. So, you know, I think that's maybe possible tonight, that we might see people kind of lose a bit of traction, and then, oh, you know, it's a potential place gain for your rival. So they'll have to be quite careful here, and I think with tyre wear being so severe, they're really going to have to watch as they go around, especially the slow corners, the hairpins, you know, when as soon as they accelerate, how much grip will they keep? Because these cars do have a lot of downforce, but limited traction as well, and they're so fast, so much horsepower, that could be the real issue. So yes, whether you're at the front of the grid or at the back of the grid, I think there's certainly an exciting race to come, and there's always opportunities to overtake. Lots of good big braking zones as well, which will help drivers to get alongside, and hopefully we'll see some great overtakes.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and good luck to you, Levi and Kennels in chat. You know, best of luck to you guys. Levitius, of course, on a pole position, and Kennels in 8th position. Levi only needs 7th position, no matter what Deaky does, to become the SMA Season 1 champion. So best of luck to all the drivers as the race is about to kick off, which is 32 laps around Daytona in Tier 1. So let's get on the correct cameras. And Levitius is going to kick things off in this one. And of course, as mentioned, it's going to be a rolling start. So Levi should get a clean run into turn number 1. But we'll see what happens behind him as we've got 5 red lights out, and away we go as he comes across the checkered line there, with VSR Richard just behind him, fully in the tow, with Fish in 3rd, Deaky in 4th, Wolfie in 5th. They are line astern as they go into turn 1 then, and no movers and shakers for the time being. But is there going to be a move through turn number 3? Oh, it's looking like Fish is all over the back bumper of Richard at the moment. And yeah, of course, being teammates, so probably won't go for the move here. But looking at the tyres as well, looks like a lot of the drivers have decided to stop. Oh, Wolfie's gone wide though. Wolfie's gone wide. And we'll get a replay on that very shortly, just to check and see if there's any movers and shakers. JDJ though up into 5th, then Papaya Racer in 6th, and Wolfie down into P7 then. Kennels remains in P8, but he's got Galara sniffing all over the back bumper of him in 9th position. Then we've got Captain Slow in the top 10, the Tyree Racing P11, and Puma Racing Neil in 12th, Mac in 13th, and Whipperman in 14th. So no movers and shakers for the time being, but I think this could be the appropriate time to have a look on that replay from Wolfie. So getting on board with the replay now. He was just late on the brakes, unfortunately. No contact from behind, so yeah. Unfortunate from Wolfie, but still, he's actually made a move on a Papaya Racer. So let's have a look on the replay. Was it just in the slipstream? Let's have a look then. And yeah, that's what it takes. Yeah, the Honda very, very fast in a straight line, and of course using that slipstream to the full advantage there, and Wolfie was able to propel himself up into 6th position, Hugh.
Yes, it's very, very close as we see there. We're looking at Levitius still leading, but only by 3 to 4 tenths. It's very kind of variable with VSR Richard and Varsvardavis in 3rd. But I wonder if they're doing a little bit of play there with 2nd and 3rd to kind of give them a push. I know they're not allowed to bump draft as such, but trying to keep themselves going as fast as they can to get the benefits of the slipstream to try and keep within Levitius's grasp there, as it's roughly 4.5 tenths as they go on to the oval and coming up towards Le Mans chicane, and they go past us there with Levitius leading by just under 3 tenths into the first left-hander, then the right again, and the left over the curbs. How much can they take? And it looks like Richard's got a great exit there and has moved right up. He's just less than 2 tenths behind Levitius as they come to the fastest part of the circuit onto the oval. They're in the slipstream there, and Richard is right on the back of Levitius as they come through to complete lap 2 and on to lap 3, just over 2 tenths in it, with Levitius still leading. Can they go for a move as they come into the left-hander? Closing up.
And JDJ up the inside of Fish there to move up into P3. And I don't think Fish let him through either there. I think that was a genuine move from JDJ. So moves up into 3rd position and looking to now try to overtake his teammate of Richard, who's in 2nd position, and try to duke it out with Levitius, who currently has the lead, Hugh.
This is great. And you can see the slightly different lines that the drivers are taking. Richard's taking a slightly tighter line, and that seems to do him well as they come out of the right-hander, then into this very tricky left-hand hairpin. It's tight at the start, then you can kind of run the car out wide, and then onto the banking, onto the oval again, and it's roughly just under half a second as they come onto the banking towards the Le Mans chicane. But there is that Nissan from Levitius doing a great job. There's 4.5 tenths ahead of VSR Richard. It's very close at the start. It's like a proper NASCAR race, this one, Sean. There's hardly anything in it. Look at that group of cars. There's really nothing in the first top 8 as they just kind of hair through that chicane there.
Deaky up the inside. Deaky up the inside of Fish. And it was a little bit of a mistake for Fish as we look on board with the replay. So, yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to change the view. It doesn't give you the best view there. In fact, I've pressed the wrong button, haven't I? What a twat.
JDG was right up on the banking there as they came onto the oval, and Richard is right behind Levitius now, less than 2 tenths as they come into the first corner and into the first left-hander through the little chicane there, the S's, down to this tricky right-hander where it's very easy to lose traction, but they're all... Look at that, there's the top cars, there's virtually nothing in it. Looks like there was a battle there further down the field, I think, with 7 and 8, but Levitius still leads here with Richard right behind the flat-out left-hander, with JDG in 3rd place, coming into the sharp right-hander there. Very easy to go deep, but now there's just 3 tenths in it as they go on the short straight, then over to the right to take the left-hander again. That very tricky left-hander onto the banking. Levitius leads by just half a second, but this is where the Hondas really pick up speed on the banking, and there they come. They're just now 4 tenths. That's the Nissan, actually, sorry, I apologise, in 2nd place, with JDG in the Honda in 3rd. You can see as they come through now, there's just 3 tenths of a second in it as they take the chicane. Plenty of curb, both right and left, and a nice kind of wonderful straight line out of it. And this is normally where Richard gets a good exit. There is just 3.5 tenths in it, and it's going down onto the banking into the stadium section to complete lap 4. Look how close it is between, there's lots of battling on between 3rd and 4th, between JDG and Deaky as well. They're all in there trying to get a place ahead, but Levites is still
Deaky up the inside. Deaky up the inside of JDJ, and that was opportunity taken from Deaky, but JDJ is going to come fighting back, but it is to no avail then. So Deaky holds on to that third position, but JDJ sniffing all over the exhaust of Deaky. So if he can stay to the back of him through this midfield section, then maybe he will be able to retake that position from Deaky when we come to the flat out section. Being that the Honda's very, very good in a straight line and through that slipstream as well. I'm going to quickly have a look on that replay of Papaya Racer though. So it was Papaya Racer who, there might have been a tiny bit of contact as Papaya Racer went a little bit deep on the outside, but yeah, that is what happened on lap number 4 then, as we look on board with the top 4 again. So Deaky gets a good run, but so does JDJ, and Levitius and VSR Richard are side by side then. Who is going to have the power, because they're both on the GTR. Deaky is going to use that slipstream. Richard is going to sneak back behind, and JDJ's got a penalty, so he's going to serve that penalty, and Wolfie is going to close that gap to JDJ and maybe sling one around the outside with Fish as well, and they both move up into 4th and 5th position. Although JDJ swings back in to 5th position. What a move from JDJ.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, let's have a quick look on the replay now. So JDJ took the penalty, but he had the inside line. Fish tried it around the outside, but JDJ with hit his brakes to perfection, to move back in to 5th position. Sorry, Hugh, go on.
They're going to say Deaky's got a half-second penalty now. Deaky's just got a half-second penalty, so he must have got a corner somewhere. Levitia still leads just by 8/10, and Richard is in 2nd place. Deaky is 3rd, but he'll have to take that penalty. Wolfie is in 4th, and it just looks like in the last lap there, half lap, that Levitius has been able to pull out a bit more of a lead. But can Richard do anything about it as they go on to the oval section and come into the Le Mans chicane? Because that's where they can get the time down a bit. And Richard has done some very good exits out of the Le Mans chicane. But as they go there, it's roughly 7/10. So Lydia's got a little bit of breathing space in this it's a real proper slipstream race, this one. And you've got to stay in that gap as much as you can. Here comes Dicky round it outside, getting his place to take his penalty. And there you go, Richard still is in 2nd place. Dicky is still showing as in 3rd with Wolfie in 4th, but Wolfie has taken that 3rd place after the penalty. So it's all changed again, and Levitis is now just half a second ahead of Richard. So Richard has managed to claw in about 3/10 in the last quarter of a lap. Can he get any closer? Look at the way that the field is not spread at all. That is quite astonishing. The first 10 to 12 cars are really within, this is nose to tail all the way through, which is fantastic. Now Levitis is still about 7/10, so in a few sectors we're seeing Levitis get ahead, but then Richard closed the gap. I think that the Richard is very good under braking, and then he accelerates away. He's doing the best he can to try and stay in that slipstream, but very close at the moment, Sean.
Yeah, and Deaky is off, and I do believe that Deaky was having some problems with his connection because he was lagging all over the shop. In fact, I'm struggling to get on board with him. He's back into P4, so no idea what was going on there, but netcode as he hits the wall there, but I'm pretty sure that it's netcode. And Deaky has left the building, he has left the lobby, and yeah, I did call it there, his connection just looking very, very bad there. So that does mean that Papaya Racer moves up to P4, JDJ into 5th, and Fish into 6th, and it looks like Papaya Racer is going to hang it around the outside on JDJ, but Fish is going to have the slipstream, but he's going to tuck back in to JDJ's slipstream, and JDJ is going to fight it tooth and nail around the outside. Who's going to come out on top here? Looks like JDJ's got the overspeed though, and Papaya Racer is going to have to settle in 5th position then. although they are literally bumper to bumper, the four of them, in fact, with Fish and Gallara in P6 and P7 respectively. Kennels as well joining the train now in 8th, and Captain Slow in 9th position. So yeah, this is a difficult one to call, but they are starting to spread out between Wolfie and JDJ, with the gap being just under 2 seconds as Papaya Racer look to show a nose down the inside, but you know, maybe just giving JDJ a bit of a scare in his mirrors. But it's certainly looking like the fight for the lead is between the top 3 drivers, with VSR Wolfie then all over the back bumper of his teammate Richard. Now Wolfie is driving that NSX, and as we've seen, very good in a straight line, particularly when there's a slipstream involved. But we're coming up to the bus stop chicane for the 8th time of asking, and it's all about your run on the exit. It looks like all 3 of them as clean as a whistle then, and but Wolfie losing a bit of a gap to Richard, who's starting to close up on Levitius. So is that going to be enough, or is he going to be hitting the rev limiter? It does seem to be the case, not really catching, and maybe doing a little bit of fuel saving at this point as well. So they are how they are at the moment, but JDJ is just in front of Papaya Racer at the moment. JDJ will close that door, so Papaya Racer will have to settle just behind him in 5th position, with Giller in P6 and Kennels up into P7, of course, because of Deaky's disconnection even, with Fish in P8. And just to answer some of your questions as well, so yeah, we did have a train of cars on the hard tyres. So Latari Racing was on the hards, Neil was on the hards, Whipperman is on the hards. So there are 3 cars that have decided to start on the hard tyres, which is a bit of a surprise really, because I really thought it was going to be maybe 1 or 2 laps on the hards and the rest on the mediums and the soft tyres, because all 3 tyre compounds are do need to be used in this one. So so yeah, quite surprising on that one, but maybe they know something that I don't, Hugh.
Yes, I mean, because there's Levitius on the mediums, and he's really hardly used them. He's got only maybe, you know, maybe not even a third of the tyre usage yet, so he's doing pretty well on those mediums. I almost thought normally it's a medium strategy for Levitius, but here you'll have to use the soft and you'll have to use the hards. We're on lap 9. He's got half a tank of fuel left, so potentially he could do quite a few more laps on this medium tyre that seems to be holding up pretty well. And then I would imagine, would they just do as many laps as they could on the softs, maybe try and get another 10 laps on the softs perhaps, and then, as you say, just the remainder on the hard, because you really don't want to be using that for any length of time possible. But as you see, Sean, the night has come, the sun is setting, and it's still incredibly close between Levitius, Richard and Wolfie. 1, 2, 3. Then there's a 2-second gap to JDG, Papaya Racer, Gallara Brown and Kennels. But they are really showing us what it's like. Not one is at any major moves yet in the top 3, but they're trying as they come into the hairpin right. And Richard always takes a tighter line through there. Now just 4/10 behind Levitius as they come over to the right for the left-hander. Can they get a good exit there? Because Richard can make up a little bit of time if he gets a good exit. It's 4.5 tenths down. But Levitius has just gone fastest by 0.28 seconds on that sector. But can they pull that gap in as they come towards the Le Mans chicane? They come round the corner now. The floodlights are on. It is no longer daylight, it is nighttime here in Florida as Levitius comes to take the chicane. And nicely done, the left, right and right again. And there is Richard again with a nice exit there. And well in the slipstream, just over 4/10 behind Levitius. Lots of sparks flying as they go on to the oval section to complete the 10th lap. So we're roughly a third of the way through already. And 1, 2, 3 are covered by just really about a second, if that. And then there's a bit of a gap to JDG in 4th, and then Gallara Brown, and about another 4 or 5 cars there behind. It's pretty close there as we look at those races between 4th and 7th. it's bumper to bumper as they come
Captain
through.
Slow with a bit of a slide there, and Fish up the inside to take full advantage and go into P8. Sorry, Hugh, as them two have been battling for the last lap here, and Fish goes sideways though. Fish goes sideways and gets lucky not to completely spin out there. Let's have a quick replay of what just happened now. So we get on board with Fish then coming up to the right-hander, and he tried to get on the power a bit earlier, clipped that curb, and did very, very well to save it, but will move down into 9th position. Sorry, Hugh, you carry on as I clear my throat there.
That's right. There, so Leviticus is still 4.5 tenths ahead as they come into the Le Mans chicane, with VSR, Richard and Wolfie right behind. Then JDG's not far away in 4th, and it's a very close battle between 4th to 7th as they come out of the chicane. Leviticus is now just 3 tenths ahead, so Richard had a slightly better exit there, and they come round onto the banking. There are the customary sparks going onto the left-hander, then into the stadium section. That's the penalty line if anyone's unfortunate enough to get a penalty, and they complete another lap. Lap 11 going into lap 12, and around they go. Can Richard make any time around there? He's very good under braking, and plenty of grip there. In fact, look at that way he closes right up on the first corner, the left-hander, and then through the S's, and then down into the right-hander. Richard's looking really positive there. Plenty of confidence under braking. Oh, and Leviticus gets a big slide coming out, and there goes Richard. Can he go around the outside? As they come into the left-hander, Leviticus just manages to hold on, but there's nothing in it now. Leviticus still leads, but Richard comes is in 2nd place, and he's just 4 tenths behind, with Wolfie eyeing up. If anything happens, Wolfie will take those positions, so he's just biding his time there. But Leviticus gets a great exit and onto the banking, now about 5.5 tenths ahead of Richard. We had a good exit there, but can Richard close that gap? It's been very close so far. Sean, it's really hotting up there. Look at all those sparks as they come round. Now, have you noticed that Wolfie's taking quite a high line there as he comes out onto the banking? That just to keep well in place, and he's right behind Richard there into the Le Mans chicane. Who will get the best exit? Richard looks to have maybe gained. He has gained. He's now just 3 tenths behind Leviticus, and so that will really help. Now it's under that. He's closing. Can he get any faster? Is there any chance to go for a move as they come to complete another lap? Leviticus now goes on to lap 13, and just 4 tenths in it as they come into the left-hander. And you can see there, that's where Richard really closes up on that initial corner and through the S's. Very easy to go on the grass there, but it looks like Richard has got, again, good braking there, and they're closing out. Wolfie's right behind him. You kind of almost wonder if there'll be team orders there and say, look, let Wolfie through to have a go at Leviticus to see if he can get anywhere near him. As they come through into the right-hander, it's a tight right-hander. It's always very long. It's hard to know when you can cleanly accelerate out of that corner and into the left-hander, which is a lovely flat-out left-hander. Well, maybe, to be fair, they've slowed down a little bit more. But there they go, onto the embankment, onto the oval. And it is just 4 tenths in it between Leviticus and Richard, and Wolfie is right behind Richard, next to no time at all. He's right in that slipstream. Leviticus comes into the Le Mans chicane. Now his tyres are about halfway worn, got just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. So he's got a bit to go before they will come into the pits. And Richard has had another good, very good exit out of that, just 2 tenths behind. Can he do anything? But it seems like Leviticus just pulls away. Even though they're on the oval there, he's managed to get a couple of tenths going on to that final corner. And he comes in to complete lap 13 and going on to lap 14 with Richard about 6 tenths behind. So he's managed to eke out 3 tenths on that final part of the lap. Will Richard try again, or will he just relax for a lap or two? I somehow doubt that. I'm sure he'll be right back on it as they come into the first few corners, into this right-hander. This is the one that's very tricky. When do you accelerate? Because you're kind of almost going off the slip road there. Richard gets a nice exit there, and he's brought that time right down again into the flat left-hander, and then into the right-hand hairpin again. Very tricky on exit, easy to lose grip. That tight line by Richard as he comes through, and then over to the right and into the hairpin left and onto the banking. Can you get a good line out of there to carry as much speed as possible? Still half a second in it as they come out, and Richard being followed very, very closely by Wolfie, but Wolfie is not trying to make a move so far. What do you think, Sean? It's certainly hotting up at the front again.
Yes, well, we have had another disconnect. So JDJ has been a victim of his third consecutive disconnect in a row.
Oh.
So yeah, things were looking up for JDJ, but again, I don't know how to comment on this really, whether or not it's a technical issue on JDJ's part, or there's some South African net crisis at the minute, because yeah, we've had 2 disconnects so far in this race. We're hoping for no more for the rest of the race, because we are coming up to the halfway mark of this race. We're on lap 15 of 32, and yeah, they are as close as you want really between Levitius and Richard. We are talking 0.4 of a second between them, and Wolfie all over the bumper of VSR Richard. So they're certainly being very consistent right now, and of course these positions are very, very important for Richard and Wolfie, because yes, they can't catch up with Levitius, but they are still fighting for that top 3 position. Third position will mean a prize for one of the drivers. Of course, top 3 that will qualify for the prize, but with Levitius and Deaky almost certain to have secured their top 2 finishes for the championship, it means that third position is up for grabs. So yeah, certainly between Richard and Wolfie, it's very, very tight in the championship. So I do feel like this will be a dogfight till the very end. As we come through to the bus stop chicane, they're both as clean as a whistle through there, but just not managing to catch up to Levitius. But Levitius is doing a brilliant job here. He's done a lot of fuel saving and has actually got more fuel than Richard and Wolfie. How is that possible? Well, actually, Richard may be level with Levitius, but Wolfie is coming, well, will be coming into the pits on the next lap then, as Galara comes into the pits and Captain Slow and Fish at the same time with very, very little fuel. So that does propel Papaya Racer up to P4. Latari, I'm not 100% sure if he's going to steal 5th, 6th or 7th position. We'll have to wait and see, but for the time being, 1.3 seconds is the gap between Papaya Racer in P4 and Levitius, who is leading the race. So certainly a very, very tight one here. 2 TNR drivers versus 2 VSR drivers. Who is going to come out on top as we are about to end the first stint for many of the drivers, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do from here, because they've been using the medium tyres for 16 laps here. So does that mean they're going to go onto the soft tyres, or are they going to try the sort of maybe a couple of laps or something on the hard tyres? I think maybe slightly more, maybe like 3 or 4 laps on the hards and the rest on softs maybe. But you know, if you guys know anything, let us know. Of course, a lot of you in the chat right now would have raced in the tiers 2 and below and already done your race. So let us know on strategy what could be the best strategy for the drivers out here. But it's looking like Wolfie and Papaya Racer are going to come in together to put in some fuel and a new set of boots. So it's Levitius from Richard then who are going to go for 1 extra lap. Then the gap is still 0.4 of a second. What is that all?
That Latari Racing went very wide at the Le Mans chicane, has been passed, picked up a penalty. Kennels and Fish have gone past him. He was in 6th place, but now he's going to have to take that penalty, so he's down to 8th. And Fish and Kennels have gone up in front of him, and TNR Captain Slow is not too far away either. He had a big moment coming out of the Le Mans chicane, but thankfully no damage. He is on the racing soft with just over a quarter of a tank of fuel, but that's allowed Captain Slow to catch right up, and Fish and Kennels have gone ahead of him. So Vars Vartavis is in 6th place now and looking very good there. That was a nice position to gain, but Latari is trying again.
Oh, there's contact between Kennels and Latari, as well as Kennels was the one to lose out there and moving down into 9th position as Captain Slow managed to make the overtake on him and move into 8th position. But yeah, that was a big moment. Let's see if we can catch a replay of that. And in fact, I'm a little bit late to the replay as Captain Slow just passes him. So yeah, big moment from Kennels. Luckily, no damage though, so he gets to fight to live another day. But looking at the tyre situation, is Latari's tyres looking a little bit worse, whereas we got Levitis and Richard that come in from P1 and P2 then, and now we've got Gallara, who's currently in 3rd position, already made his pit stop. So we'll see where he is in relation to them, with Papaya Racer in P4 and VSR Wolfie in P5, both on the soft tyres as well, with Gilla as well. So they're just about to pass the pits now, but it really depends where Levitis is going to come out. He's going to go onto fresh mediums, and same as Richard as well. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah, because they're going to have to make two stops. They're going to have to put the soft on and the hard.
Yeah.
I wonder if they've forgotten, if they've maybe not known that was the case.
If you can confirm this, Robin, whether or not we had a mess up in the graphic, but I'm pretty sure that it's the hards, medium and softs that need to be used. So it seems very strange that both of them are going back onto...
Richard's ahead of Levitius in 4th.
Yeah, Richard has not filled up as much as Levitis by the looks of it, although still very, very tight on fuel. But yeah, it looks like Richard was just about able to get a nose in front of Levitis then, and it's just whether or not he can hold off the likes of Levitis as we come up to the chicane. But oh, they're on soft, sorry. Okay, when I flicked over it, so that was a graphic mess up on GT7's behalf, because they had fresh mediums on, but it obviously hadn't swapped over the letters then. But they're on softs. Right, yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ghost Rider. I'm glad someone's on it. So
there's Wolfie challenging Papaya Racer for 2nd place and going through. Wolfie goes through into 2nd place, and is now not too far away from Gallara Brown. A lovely move by Wolfie there to take the 2nd place on the podium position so far. But in front, Gallara Brown, looks like there's a bit of issue. I think there's a bit of net code there as we watch Wolfie take the right-hander. But Gallara Brown is leading by about 0.8 of a second over Wolfie in 2nd place. Then it's Papaya Racer in 3rd. And then we have Richard and Levitius in 4th and 5th, with Fish in 6th, Latari in 7th, and Kennels in 8th. But that was a wonderful move there by Wolfie to go round the outside and take that 2nd place. And now he is trying to close up on Gallara Brown as they go on to the banking and towards the Le Mans chicane. Can he bring that time down? He looks like he's in the slipstream. He's about 0.6 behind Gallara Brown. Now this is when we'll see, is this Honda the car to have? Because they're supposed to be quicker on the straights and they're supposed to be more economical. Not that I'm sure the litres per kilometre or mile will make that much difference today. They go out of the chicane, and at the moment Gallara has held that well. He's actually pulled a couple of tenths as they went through the chicane. So Wolfie is in 2nd place, and he's got just over half a tank of fuel, but he's on those racing softs. But he is in 2nd, Papaya Racer is in 3rd. How far back is VSR Richard? Now he's managed to pull out a 1.1.
We got Kennels. Kennels going to make a move on Latari Racing then as they go side by side as they come. In fact, Latari Racing coming into the pits then from P8. So yeah, of course he did have less fuel and Of course, a lot more wear on them tyres as well. So Latari Racing coming in, then we'll see where that propels him. But yeah, for the time being, then we've got Kennels in 7th position, Captain Slow in P8. And yeah, and then it's a little bit spread out from there. So yeah, at the minute we have got Gallara in the race lead at the moment. 0.3 of a second is over his teammate Wolfie for second, and then Papaya Racer in for 3rd position. But certainly there are a few different strategies on play here, because all 3 of them have got about half a tank of fuel there. Gallara with a little bit less, but of course he has got the race lead at the minute. And then we've got the likes of Richard and Levitis with a little bit more fuel, and of course came in about a lap or 2 later as well to get on them soft tyres. But yeah, thank you, Ghost Rider. I wasn't 100% sure on how it does things, so it's nice to know that we have to wait until they're actually officially out of the pit lane to see exactly what tyres they're on. So it was me getting ahead of myself there. But yeah, JDJ, unlucky to JDJ, and welcome. Yeah, just I don't know what to say. There's 3 back-to-back disconnects for you, and I just feel very, very sorry for you. But hopefully you get to at least enjoy how your teammates get on. Currently P1 and P2, but I do suspect in the next sort of I'd say the next 5 laps or so that things may change. We'll have to wait and see, but certainly 0.8 of a second separating the 3 drivers. Then Wolfie will know that Papaya Race is just behind him, so he's I guess protection for Gilla at the minute, but Papaya Race is going to have to try and find a way past the 2 drivers if possible. We'll have to see whether or not he's losing time, or whether or not they're doing a little bit of fuel saving, because looking at the times, 1:34s for the trios, and then we've got Richard 1:34.6, Levitis 1:34.8. So actually they're all on a pretty comparable pace at the minute. So the top 5 very close. 4.3 seconds is the gap between 1st and 5th position. Then we've got a bit of a gap to Fish in 6th position. And then we've got Captain Slow 3 seconds behind, so definitely a gap between them. But we've got Puma Racing Mac and Kennels together right now as we go into the bus stop chicane for the 21st time of asking, and it looks like it was good from the pair of them. It looks like Kennels is going to look to slingshot his way past, but he's going to have to take it around the outside though, which is not the optimal line around here, but he's in the GTR. It is supposed to be quicker than the Lexus, and it's, well, they are literally next to each other. But the thing is, Mac has got the inside line, so you would say that he is favourite to take this if he has timed his braking. But Kennels, oh, there's contact, or a little bit of contact at least. Oh, he's hit the, is that a net code? I don't know if that's net code or not.
Still going. I think they're still going.
He did clip the wall, but I don't know if that was netcode or not. But they are literally side by side, and Kennels for the time being having to yield from Mac. Mac is going to try and close the door on him, and yeah, it looks like for the time being. Oh no, Kennels up the inside, tries the old switcheroo, and I think he's made the move stick and moves up into 8th position. Just depends if he gets this corner right, but he does. So that's a great move from Kennels. Let's have a look on the replay and see exactly how that transpired. So Mac, I thought, would have been favourite here, but maybe he went a little bit too deep, and Kennels timing his braking to perfection and manages to make the move stick and move up into 8th position. So great move from Kennels. So we...
Sorry.
Well, I was just about to say, we are riding back on board with the leaders then, with VSR Gallara Bryn still... riding leading the train from Wolfie then, and Papaya Racer still very, very close. But yeah, how do you think this one is going to play out though, because this is definitely a difficult one to call, Hugh?
Yes, well, they're all going to have to come in and put on that hard tyre. They've tried to resist it. Only I think it's Oh, it is Latari Racing who is now on the medium. He's the only one who's used, I think, the hards, maybe with a couple of others. But the leaders, really the top 7 or 8, they've all not used this hard tyre. So they're going to have to come in very soon. And Gallara Brown is just managing to hang on to first place with Wolfie in second and Papaya Racer in third. But they've not got that much fuel left, and they're getting towards the end of that racing soft tyre. So it looks like they're going to be doing maybe 5 or 6 laps on the hard tyre, and we'll see how that goes. But of course, so do Richard and Levitius. And that hard tyre, well, it's night time, it's maybe a bit cooler. Will it make a bit of a difference onto their lap time? Because really you want a kind of warm, soft tyre to try and give you plenty of grip. But they're all going to have to use this hard tyre for certainly the last few laps, if not maybe 6 or 7 laps of the race. And that's going to really slow things up. And yeah, what will happen? Because the first 3 are going to have to come in the next few laps. And then it will be Richard and Levitius. Well, I know they've got a little bit more fuel, but will it be enough to get to get the lead back? Because of course Gallara Brown and the top 3, they only need to short fuel. So we'll see how it works.
Yes, we will. Well, it looks like both VSR drivers are working in tow for the time being. I did see a comment in there from Sir Mag saying Liam is chilling in the slip. But when I looked on board with him, it didn't look like he was in the slip. And in fact, you look at the gaps. Oh, as Levi struggles to keep the car pointing forward on the exit there. He's out of that slipstream at the moment, but perhaps he's doing a little bit of fuel saving, because if you look on his fuel gauge, he's got just under half a tank of fuel. When you look at Richard, he's got a lot less now. And then if you look at the top 3 drivers, they've got about a quarter of a tank here. So perhaps a bit of a slight game from Liam right now. And looking at the bigger picture, because yeah, Wolfie's got even less fuel. And Gallara, of course, will probably need to make a stop imminently as well, who is currently leading the race. But yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting one. But of course, yeah, all the drivers do need to get on the hards at some point. But looking at the tyre situation as well, they are kind of in that window where they're going to be losing speed. They're going to be getting a lot of understeer, particularly in the road section, road course section, should I say. And Levi's, yeah, also with the same. And as we called it, Gallara comes in from the race lead then. And he'll be getting on to them hard tyres then. So it is now between the top 4 drivers. So will Levitius start to put the hammer down and try to now catch up with the top 3 drivers? He is within 2 seconds of Richard at the minute. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens, as we've got 7.5 laps left of this round 11 race in the SMA Season 1 at Daytona. So yeah, this is certainly going to provide a few shake-ups, I think, Hugh.
Yes, there is Gallara Brown in 9th place, just behind Puma Racing Neil, but he has changed onto the racing hard tyres. So what kind of grip will that give him? Will they be able to overtake Neil, or will it be held up for a bit? But Wolfie now takes the lead, but he will have to come into to his pit stop, probably. Oh, actually, he's got a bit of fuel left. He's got just under a quarter of a tank, so maybe he's going to try and push this one out. But Papaya Racer is only half a second behind him as they exit the chicane, and now they're going on to the embankment, and there is Richard and Levi behind them. And it looks like the sun is rising here at Daytona. We've done almost a 24-hour clock, and the sun is rising as they go into the stadium section, and to finish another lap there and start lap 26 as they cross the line right now, with Wolfie leading by 0.4 of a second in the Honda NSX, and Papaya Racer in second, Richard in third, Levitius in fourth, with maybe a little bit, as you say, of fuel saving going on. These guys are all going to have to come in very, very soon to put on the hard tyre. So how much time will they lose? Difficult to say. In fact, Fish and Captain Slow and Kennels, they've all come in for their pit stop, and they'll have to take on a good bit of fuel, and then that will be them for the end of the race. But here they come round, Wolfie leading. So over to you, Sean.
We got a battle then, yeah, for P5 then. Puma Racing Neil, I'm not 100% sure if he took that position away from Gallara. I think he may well have done. Let's just have a look on board with the replay. In fact, no, he was defending from Giller and managed to hold off for the time being. Giller on them fresh, hard tyres. Had the overspeed in the slipstream, but Neil on the softer of the compounds on the mediums with a tiny bit of contact, a bit of door-to-door banging between the two drivers, manages to hold on to that 5th position. So yeah, it looks like a very interesting battle between the two drivers, but as Neil's tyres start to burn away, then surely Gallara will be in a better position to take full advantage. But looking further down the grid, it's looking pretty spread out for the rest of the drivers. So I think a lot of the action is going to come to the top 3 as Wolfie comes in from the race lead then, and he's going to be getting off them soft tyres. So now Papaya Racer Richard and Levitius will now move past him, who are on a much worn soft tyres, and with Levitius, he's in a pretty strong position here because he's got a quarter of a tank here, and he has closed that gap to Richard by about half a second in the last lap. Richard with a lot less fuel, and Papaya Racer with kind of on fumes at the minute, so he'll be coming in the next kind of lap or so. Yeah, he's got a 0.3 of a second lead over Richard. Yeah, the Vitch is now starting to close in, kind of like the Jaws theme right now.
Yeah, we can imagine. It's certainly very close. It's 1.3 seconds between Richard and Levitius as they come round onto the banking towards the Le Mans chicane. But it's very, very close though, because there goes. It looks like Richard is challenging Papaya Racer for first. And they're battling away. Papaya manages to keep that position, but Richard wants to get as much time as possible, and he's challenging again, and goes through into first place.
Yeah, he made it stick there. We're going to quickly get on the replay before they get into turn number 1. So as we went into the bus stop chicane, Richard got onto the brakes a bit earlier than Papaya Racer, but set up the old switcheroo as Papaya Racer went a bit deep, and Richard was able to carry that speed through to go into P1. As they both come into the pits as well, sorry Hugh. So Levitius is going to carry on with his race, but look at them rear tyres though. They're looking like they've got a tiny sliver left on it. So it's whether or not he can keep hold of the car and be like a smooth operator to try and cruise away through lap number 28 and maybe try the overcut. Hugh.
Yeah, because he's roughly just under 19 seconds ahead of Richard and Papaya Racer, but he's going to have to come in for that pit stop. He's being very smooth as he goes out onto the embankment towards the Le Mans chicane. And you look at those tyres, they're really, especially the right tyres, are pretty much shot really. There's not much left to give in that, and that's going to, you have to be very careful as he comes through the chicane, because they rely on so much grip there that if you've not got it, you're going to have to take that into account. Now Richard and Papaya Racer are back on track in second and in third, but Levitius exits the chicane nicely, and he's lost about 0.4 just on that exit, and he comes through, and I wonder, will he go for another lap? Because I think he's beginning to lose time on the other drivers. Now, how much time do you lose here on a pit stop? That's the crucial thing. That he comes round into the pits, so he has come in for his pit stop, and he'll just take enough fuel to finish the race. Will Richard or Papaya Racer, can they do something? They're coming round the straight now to complete the lap, but of course they're going to go round the first corner and then exit it, but I think it's going to be very, very close. Levitius is still in the pits.
Yeah.
And Richard,
it's looking like Richard. Sorry, yeah, it sounds like Richard is about to come out. Oh no, Levitius rejoins in first position then, and there's Richard, who will be tucking in behind Levitius then, and that is a strategy from the gods from Levitius then, as he has a 1 second lead over Richard. Of course, he's going to have to warm up them hard tyres, and that is going to be a bit of a struggle. But it's looking like Levitius has done a brilliant job and may well secure the victory here at the Daytona Road Course, Hugh.
Yes, it looks very strong indeed. But I thought when we saw on the table there, it looked like Richard may have done it, but it's roughly 1.3 seconds between Levitius in first and Richard in second as they go on to the embankment. And look at that, second, third, fourth, with Wolfie putting on the pressure to Papaya Racer, and Papaya Racer going down the inside of Richard on this, coming into the chicane, but taking the better of it.
Oh, bit of contact between Papaya Racer and Richard. He's not picked up damage, but he has gone very slow out of the exit. That has really closed up VSR Wolfie to the back of Papaya Racer, but not able to make the move at the moment because Papaya Racer has got the slipstream to Richard, although now he's got the overspeed as we go and hit the rev limiter, and I think it's looking like Wolfie's going to take away that third position away from Papaya Racer, unless he's got something to say about that. But no, Wolfie does make it successfully and move up into third position then, and timed his overtake to perfection. But Papaya Racer isn't gonna give up without a fight then, as he tries one up the inside, and they're going to be side by side out of the exit, and I think Papaya Racer has taken that third position away from Wolfie then.
Fantastic, what a great overtake that was, to battle away and not give up, and he's got that third place back. And Wolfie's trying again to kind of take a tighter line coming out of the right-hander. But that's allowed Richard to pull away. And can he do anything about Levitius? But Papaya Racer is still battling, still trying to stay up with Richard. And it's all to play for. There is second, third and fourth with nothing in it at all. And it's Levitius putting out a 1.3 second lead. Well, Sean, it looks like the battle's going to be for the podium. Second and third and fourth.
Yes, it does look that way indeed, yes. So Wolfie, I think will be seething after thinking that he got past Papaya Racer, but Papaya Racer had other thoughts, took that position away from him, and he's got to be so frustrated with that, as Papaya Racer now starting to close in on VSR Richard then. So VSR Richard's going to hold the inside line, but he is a bit of a sitting duck right now as they come across the start-finish line to start the penultimate lap of the race. But VSR Richard is going to hold on for the time being, unless, yes, he just about gets on the anchors in time, and with a bit of a wiggle on the exit. Papaya Racer is as close as can be. I thought Richard was going to leave the door open for Papaya Racer to sweep down the inside, but just about holds on to second position for the time being. But what that is doing is allowing Levitius to start pulling away now, who is 1.1 seconds ahead of VSR Richard for the time being. Still very, very close, but within another tenth or two, Richard will be out of that slipstream, and then Papaya Racer will be in prime position to take that position away from him. We'll see how it goes now as you come down the kind of back curve before the bus stop chicane. Richard getting the better traction out of the exit, but now you can see the time dwindling down as it's below about it's about 2/10 of a second now, as Papaya Racer tries to set up a good exit out of the bus stop chicane and doesn't quite do it there. Richard with a very good exit there and does pull to about 4.5 tenths in front of him, and in fact he's actually closed the gap on Levitius. So did Levitius go a little bit deep through the bus stop chicane, because the gap is now half a second as we come across the line to start the last lap of the race then, and this is certainly going to be a tight one, I think, Hugh.
Absolutely, and it's something else. They're just now 4 tenths ahead. I wonder if Levitius, as you say, went a bit wide earlier on in the lap, because Richard is right behind him now, weaving away with Papaya Racer also in the mix there, trying to push for a podium to get up into that second place. But can Richard just push, and force Revitius into a mistake. They go round the left-hander into the right, the hairpin. Richard takes that tight line, and oh, it's so close as they exit the right-hander. Can he get even closer there? Because this is the crucial corner now. Over to the right to then take the left-hand bend as they go onto the embankment and onto the oval section. It's roughly half a second in it. Can Richard pull anything back? But it looks like Levidius has just managed to keep on that lead. It's roughly just over 5/10 of a second as they go onto the embankment now, coming towards the Le Mans chicane. And look at Richard and Papaya Racer. There's nothing in it. Papaya Racer's trying to go down the outside of Richard. But will they manage to do it? There's a bit of contact. But they go through. And Richard goes wide, but manages to hold on to that position. And Richard takes it on the exit of the chicane.
Oh, he's got half a second penalty though. He got a half a second penalty. Papaya Racer is going to take that second position away from him. But it's going to be Levitius though, who's going to come across the line in first position to become the SMA Season 1 champion. Congratulations to Levitius. Papaya Racer does get that second position, and VSR Richard gets third position ahead of his teammate VSR Wolfie for fourth position. Giller is going to grab a fifth position for him, and it's going to be side-by-side action between Kennels and Fish takes it on the line ahead of Kennels, who grabs a seventh position. Captain Slow will be in eighth position, and Latari Racing is going to come home in ninth position, with Neil coming home in 10th, and Mac will get the last finishing position in 11th. But what a cracking race that was indeed, Hugh. What are your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. I mean, it was really enthralling the whole way through. And the battles between the top three and then the top seven, it was just all the time, places changing. I think having all these extra tyres that they had to use really helped. But Levitius was under pressure there, but he's managed it again. A fantastic win, but great for Papaya Racer to claim second place in the dying seconds of the race. An absolutely brilliant race to watch.
Yes, indeed, and I can't wait for the interviews as well, as I struggle with my voice again. The cold couldn't come soon enough, I think. But it was really, really exciting stuff. And what is the last race in the Group 2 2016 series? So what a way to end it. But Levitius again comes across the line to grab his 9th victory of the season and is now crowned SMA Season 1 champion. So congratulations to Levitius, with his teammate Papaya Racer coming home in second position. That is much better for him, and certainly in his pursuit for that top 3 position in the championship, ahead of VSR Richard, who grabs the last step on the podium in 3rd position. It was VSR Wolfie that came home in 4th position with the fastest lap of a 1:33.668, and then it was VSR Galara Bryn who grabs a P5. And then there's a bit of a gap to his teammate Fish, who comes home in 6th position, who finished just in front of Kennels and nipped him on the line to grab that 6th position as well. And Kennels is going to feel really hard done by, who's going to have to settle for 7th position. Then it was TNR Captain Slow, who came home in an 8th position ahead of Latari Racing for a 9th position for him. Puma Racing Neil will grab a top 10 position for him, and Puma Racing Mac comes home in 11th position, with 3 retirements from this race. VSR JDJ, TNR Whipperman and DK, unfortunately for him, gets the disconnect. And to be honest, Levitius won the race anyways, so I think he's near enough secured his second position. But anyways, we're going to go and get the thoughts of the top 3 drivers. So Hugh, if you want to join me in the interview room, and we will speak to 3rd position. That was 1 second, let me just come out now. So 3rd position, that was VSR Richard. So there we go, there we are. So let's get on board then with VSR Richard, who grabbed an excellent third position. Richard, how are you feeling after that?
No, very happy, very satisfied for being on the podium again. I think it could have been second place, but yeah, myself and Papaya had a nice battle there towards the end. All fair racing, so yeah, well done to them.
Yeah, it was definitely a difficult one to call because, I mean, between about I'd say 5 drivers, I think, between you 5, it looked like you was within about a couple of seconds between each other. So, you know, halfway through the race, you know, what are your thoughts like onto the second half of the race? Was you thinking, do you know what, I could get the race win here?
Yeah, no, definitely that was on my mind. So yeah, the first stint I saved after behind Levitius. I know he also fuel saved a lot, but I didn't mind that because he was dragging me along and he had good pace while fuel mapping and fuel saving. So yeah, and when I put on the soft, I actually found myself in a little bit no man's land. Levitius was behind me, so I wanted to break the slip so that he can't save fuel behind me. And then I think I pushed too hard because I tried to catch up to Papaya and Wolfie and those guys. And it took too long. It took about 7 laps before I actually find him at the back. And then, yeah, Papaya came out of the pits just behind me. I had a little bit more fuel. And then, yeah, from there, the last corner penalty, almost 4th place, but at least 3rd place. But yeah, it was a hectic, but it was a nice race.
Yeah, I mean, certainly for myself, Richard, like I lost my voice. I'm still struggling now, to be honest. So, yeah, it certainly was a great way to end the 2016 Group 2 series. So I really appreciate that performance from you. And, yeah, congratulations on that 3rd position. Hugh, have you got any questions for Richard?
Yeah, many congratulations, Richard. It was a fantastic race to watch. And you had some great opportunities for battling away there as you were going behind Levitius, really keeping the pressure on the whole way through. How did you find the kind of traction? Because there was quite a few corners here. You were really closing up to Levi under braking on a lot of the hairpins. Did you think you had a bit of an advantage, but were you hitting the limiter when you went on the straights?
Yeah, I think it's look. I think I do like Daytona, so I think I'm quite fast on the track. Did race a couple of races here. It's difficult to follow a car, especially with the downforce with these cars. So yeah, I didn't want to go for an optimistic opportunity and mess it up. So yeah, I decided just to stay behind Levitius and see how much fuel I can save. Maybe jump him in the pit, but he was very fast while fuel saving and fuel mapping. So yeah, hats off to him. But yeah, I'm happy.
Well, that was a well-deserved 3rd place and a great race to watch. It was really fantastic. And we'll be ready for the last round in a week's time. I'm sure you're looking forward to that. But well done on a great 3rd place.
Yeah, I'm going to miss next week's race. I'm flying to Netherlands on Saturday night for 10 days for work obligations. So yeah, I'm going to be in overseas. So unfortunately, I'm going to miss the last race of the season. It will count as one of the throwaway races. But yeah, I just want to say I enjoyed the season very much. All the admin, all the commentating, all the races. It was great fun. I'm looking forward to the next season.
Oh, thanks very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's rather unfortunate, Richard, because I was about to say to you, yeah, you'd be looking to hold on to that top 3 position, but you've just answered it now. So,
yeah, I think I'm going to forfeit it. Last week I was very unlucky. I think I would have finished 2nd behind Levi and got disconnected with all the other guys. But yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you're lucky, other times you're not so lucky. But yeah, no, it was great fun.
Yeah, well, you know, congratulations to you on a fantastic season from you. I mean, I definitely knew you had great pace. If the time trials were anything to go by, making me look rather slow, I knew that you was definitely a very fast man, and you've definitely provided the entertainment this season. So unfortunate that you've got work commitments and not able to see out the season. But a fantastic performance from you today and throughout the whole season. So well done to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Richard. Take care, mate.
Thanks, bye.
Okay, and then moving on to our second place finisher, and it's been a while since we've seen him in the interview room. It was Papaya Racer with the last gasp second position and the overtake on Richard. How's that feel?
It feels good. Like you said, it's been a while since I was here. So yeah, it feels good to be back. I think it feels good getting that move at the end, but I think Richard's penalty was very unfortunate, and I think had he not gotten that 0.5, where I think neither one of us want to completely healed, he would have come out the corner ahead. But I think credit to him and for us having a good battle there and giving each other as much racing room as possible. But yeah, feels good to be back.
Yeah, so talk us through your strategy today. Was it a case of kind of doing things on the fly, depending on like how the cars were around you, kind of thing, or was that a strategy that you kind of went with pre-race?
We discussed quite a bit pre-race in terms of what we felt the sort of ideal strategy was, if there was an ideal one. I think with us having the Nissan, we knew it was going to be tough, and I think for us it was just about biding our time, saving as much as possible behind the Hondas with greater straight line speed, and letting it play out from there, knowing that the opportunities are going to come later in the race. So I think that was just my strategy, was just bide my time, save fuel, not lose too much time so that you don't go too far off the tail, and then you kind of get no man's land at the end of that. And yeah, luckily I think that paid off, just being patient and letting the race come to me on the sort of into the hot stint when you had saved enough fuel before, which gained me a few positions here and there. And yeah, so that was kind of the set strategy that we got to discuss beforehand, was just that patience and saving of fuel.
And I was going to ask just on the final chicane, the bus stop chicane. Tell us about your nerves as you was going too wide with Richard, because I get scared when it's just myself, let alone when you've got a car next to you.
Yeah, it was it was hairy. I think also being on the outside, you're never certain, but I think I've raced Richard enough this year or this season to know what type of racer he is. Someone who's quite hard but fair. So I went in assuming he would probably give me a bit of space, and the least I could do was not pinch him on the inside as well. But yeah, never been through this side by side with someone I think before, so it was a new experience. Glad we both managed to come out of it pointing the right way. So yeah, but no, it was a good battle between us there at the end.
Yeah, it was so exciting, and like I say, I blame you two for myself losing my voice at the end there. So, but we love to see it, of course, and congratulations on your second position. And Hugh, have you got any questions for Chaz?
Chaz, it's a fantastic result there to get second place. It was an enthralling battle, and that last-minute move to get second from VSR Richard was a great battle. Great move going through into that chicane where it's so dodgy. So well done on that. That bravery definitely held out, and you're able to get that second place. Have you enjoyed the season so far, and are you looking forward to the last round in a week's time?
Yeah, I think we enjoyed it. Very much looking forward to the last round to try and finish on a high. I think it's been a long season, a tough one, where things haven't always gone as planned. But I think I've had fun throughout, and it's been good hard racing. So that's all you can really ask for, whether it goes right or wrong. Things happen out there, but yeah, I think it's been good, and looking forward to hopefully finishing on high.
Excellent. Well done for a fantastic second place, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, I was just going to ask as well, Chaz, quickly. So, obviously, with the driver standings, and I'm just kind of looking at it now. So, of course, we now know that Richard's not going to be available for the last race, but it is certainly going to be between yourself and Wolfie. Which you two have been rivals throughout the season. It's certainly been very, very close between yourselves. So is it kind of like all or nothing now on the last race of the season?
I think that'll be the goal. Want to finish as high up as possible. That's always the goal. And, myself and Wolfie are actually coming together. So it almost makes sense that we're going to be fighting over, positions as well. It feels like, whenever we come up the pit and stuff, we're always together on track. So, it's been a good battle. And I think, we're going to the last one. Not sure what the points gap is or anything, because I've also had a couple drop rounds where I've scored 0, especially like the last one where I disconnected. So, I haven't been too certain of how everything's shaping up in the standings, but I think I'm just looking forward to another good battle to end it off.
I think Wolfie's got the upper hand here, but, obviously anything is possible in the race. So, I wish you the best of luck. And, we really look forward to seeing how you get on next week. But congratulations on second position, Chaz.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chaz. Okay, and last but not least, because I can now confirm him as the SMA Season 1 champion, Levitius.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
To be honest, that race was surprisingly close. I really didn't expect to have a gap of only 1 second at the end. It was actually a very tactical race. I wasn't actually really pushing necessarily the hardest throughout the whole race. I was just fuel saving a lot. But having Richard behind me for 17 laps non-stop was quite nerve-wracking, you could say. Overall, the pace was great. Richard and I are playing some games. He wanted to get past me sometimes. He just let me stay ahead. So the fact that I saved almost just the same amount of fuel as him when he was behind, I'm very happy. Can't complain. Yeah.
I was going to ask, actually, Lev, So the strategy that you tried today, was you always going to try that strategy, or was it literally trying to, think on the fly to the situation you was involved in?
I already know that Daytona is always about like fuel saving, no matter what, especially when it's 3 times fuel. If it was maybe 2 times fuel, maybe not as much, but I already knew instantly that it's going to be a race about who can spend the least amount of time in the pits, especially at this track, because you're on like full throttle for probably like 80%, 90% of it. So it was all about just trying to save fuel and basically drive to a set pace. And if the drivers were behind me in the slip, I really couldn't do much about that unless I deliberately let them by and slowed down. Honestly, it was a set strategy, to be honest. The soft tires didn't last as long as I wish they would, but the strategy overall turned out great. It was a little closer than expected, but yeah, it was a little smooth operator. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, obviously at that circuit on the game, it was, I didn't know, if you was going to come out in front or you was going to be just behind, but in the end, you was 1 second in front of Richard. What was your thoughts and how was your nerves at that point?
To be honest with you, I underfueled the car in the last stint, thinking I would have more of a gap. Could have actually backfired on me on the last lap when he was only half second behind me, because it was going to be, I had like 1.2 laps of fuel going onto the last lap, so I could have I can use the maximum revs going to the finish line so I don't get overtaken. But I almost ran out. So honestly, in retrospect, I should have just fueled a little bit more and then had them directly behind me and then just manage the pace from there. But overall, honestly, you can't control that many factors around Daytona. With the Gran Turismo slipstream physics. So, yeah, we just kept it between the lines and didn't get any penalties, and that's all we could do. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you, Levi. I mean, obviously doing it in style, winning the race and claiming the championship. So well done to you, Levi. And Hugh, have you got any questions for our champion?
Oh, many congratulations, Levi. It's a fantastic race winning record. You've really shown a dominant performance, but tonight you were definitely pushed a bit more than before, and you were saying earlier you were under pressure, but you certainly managed to fuel save and keep everyone behind you. But for a while you were back and forth in 5th place. Did you think at that point perhaps it might not work out, or were you quite confident that you would re-inherit that lead and be able to defend it?
To be honest with you, the strategy that the other drivers used, especially VSR, where I think it was Branavane and a few others, I think Wolfie, they did a lot more laps on the hards, but they were pushing on their fuel. So it equalized out to me driving on the softs and saving a bit. So honestly, it was quite interesting seeing that the gap was not dropping as quickly as I expected. I did obviously. I was like about 5 seconds when I came up the pits, and then it started going down slowly by bit. I stuck to my race. I was talking to my chat and thinking, guys, what do you think? Should we stick with Richard? He is using a lot more fuel. I saw he definitely burnt a lot of fuel to try and catch up to them. Which honestly, it's either you do that and you catch up to them completely and you make sure you get to their slipstream, or you hang back like I did and just drive to my strategy. Yeah, honestly, I just said, okay, just remain calm, just do my thing, and then let the pace do the talking. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what are going to be your victory celebrations now that you are the champion of season 1 of the SMA GT500 Championship?
Honestly, I'm a little bit tired. It's been a long season. It's been quite a lot of effort going into many of the races. Luckily, I know Daytona like the back of my hand, so I didn't have to put too much practice into this compared to like maybe Trial Mountain earlier this season. Honestly, just want to enjoy the racing, enjoy the last round, especially with the Valkyrie. That's going to be an amazing race. I think it's Red Bull Ring, so yeah, just make the most of it, and maybe we might do something interesting next race. We'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah, oh, fantastic. Well, many congratulations on a great victory, and of course, of being champion of the SMA GT500 Championship. Very well deserved, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thank you.
Is it definitely Red Bull Ring, is it, Lev?
Well, from what I saw, if I can quickly go look at the votes, it's going to be the Aston Valkyrie confirmed because it's over half the votes, and then 15 votes to Grand Valley's, 21 votes to Red Bull Ring. So I think the cutoff was tomorrow morning, so I'm pretty sure it's Red Bull Ring, yeah.
Oh, okay. Any special tactics you're going to be using in that race, or is it all hush-hush at the moment?
Well, to be honest with you, I really just enjoyed the Aston Martin Valkyrie. We've had several events actually in Gran Turismo at that track with the car, so I have a lot of prior experience, so we just need to tap into that a little bit. The car's an absolute beast, so it's going to be a lot of throttle management, especially out of the slow corners at Red Bull Ring. So it's going to definitely be a challenge, and maybe we'll get some weather, especially in that car, will be crazy. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I guess we will have to. Well, Levi, congratulations again, Season 1 SMA champion. Well done to you, and yeah, we look forward to seeing how you get on next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lev. Take care. Okay, so, well, I think that is confirmed then, Hugh, that next week we will be at Red Bull Ring in the Aston Martin Valkyrie. So, have you got any prior experiences in that car, Hugh? And, what are your thoughts on that combo?
I have driven the car on GT7, and would you believe it, I've actually seen the car in real life when they were testing it a few years ago. I was at a company car driving day down at Millbrook, and they actually had one of the Valkyries testing at Millbrook. So what a noise, what an incredible car that is. So, and with the Red Bull Ring being quite short and tight, it's going to be very interesting to see how the drivers cope with all that power and not that much grip, because it is a road car. I'd be interested to see what the tyres that they use on that next week as well. But no, fantastic car, great combination. I've bought one in my collection on GT7, and I do like driving it. It is great fun. So I think we'll be definitely in line for another enthralling race to finish the season 1 of the SMA GT500 Championship So I'm definitely looking forward to that one and to see who can win at the Red Bull.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, looking forward to that one. I don't know too much about the cars. I do know that they are very, very fast, but a road car, so don't have the racing brakes and of course, like the tyres, the mechanical grip is not there compared to like the Group 1s and stuff. So yeah, definitely going to be a very, very interesting one, and make sure you do tune in for that one next Monday on the 28th of April at your normal time at 8:30 p.m. In fact, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Africa time. So do make sure, if you have enjoyed today, make sure you hit that like button, and if you are new to the channel, do definitely hit that subscribe button and get us that closer bit to that 200 mark. It'll be much appreciated. But you can also subscribe to our other pages as well. That is Facebook, Instagram, our Discord, which is in the description below. We've got a growing community here at the SMA, so do make sure you get yourselves into the Discord as well, and those that are driving, get them details of the next race as well, with all the tyres and fuel multipliers. Maybe there might be some rain as well, who knows, but definitely go and check out the Discord for sure. And give a big thank you as well to all the SMA admin staff as well, who have set up an amazing championship in SMA Season 1. So definitely give them a handshake and a pat on the back as well for such a great job. And also as well, we have some driver interviews coming up as well, presented by the awesome Hugh Hatrick by my side every Thursday. I do believe it's the Tier 3 drivers that you're going to be interviewing, Hugh. I think you're muted, Hugh.
Sorry about that. Yes, it's Tier 3 who we're going to be lining up on our live stream this week, Thursday. Now, it's normally at 7:15 UK time and 8:15 that we go live in South African time. But the first two went really well, and I'm very much looking forward to getting to know the drivers of T3. So make sure you join us for that. It's lots of fun. You can ask them questions, keep them on their toes, and it'll be great to find out how they are getting on in their tiers, and also how they get on in sim racing. How did they start? What are their favourite games? What are their tips for getting a great lap and making the most of GT7? So make sure you join us this Thursday night, 7:15 p.m. UK time, an hour later for South Africa. But yeah, thoroughly enjoy interviewing the drivers for this really lovely and enjoyable GT500 championship.
Indeed. Yeah, thank you, Hugh. Thank you. So yeah, do make sure you go and check out the Hugh Hatrick YouTube channel for all the Tier 3 responses, who Hugh will be putting on the spot, of course, with the awesome questions that he puts out there. But what a cracking race we had today, Hugh. Again, SMA at its finest. And yeah, viewers, let us know on your driver of the day, and if there were any particular moves that really impressed you, because I think there was quite a number of moves that got me off of my seat. So let us know on your thoughts. But Hugh, who is your driver of the day?
Well, I have to say, I mean, it's been very close between a number of drivers. I mean, Levi getting that championship and again doing it in dominant fashion. But Papaya Racer getting that second place, that brave move on the last corner of the last lap on that chicane. I think I'll give the driver of the day to Papaya Racer.
Okay, yeah, that's a good call. That's definitely a good shout there. I think I'm thinking kind of the same, actually, to be honest. It was good to see him back in the podium spots, and yeah, he certainly had some brave old pants as well, going side by side into the bus stop chicane, where it was now or never, basically, wasn't it? So yeah, he did a really, really good job, and yeah, he's also my driver of the day. Just looking at the chat as well. Sir Mags must be in tier 3 then, because he's saying he's got his questions ready for you, Hugh. So do definitely be afraid, be very afraid.
Definitely. He also said he's the YouTube comment section winner of the day. I'm sure I can give that to Sir Mags, no problem at all. But yeah, no, what a fantastic group watching. It's great to see the comments. Please keep them coming thick and fast as we go through these races, and also on our Thursday night stream as well. It's great to get the interaction, because we want to know what the viewers are thinking, and also all the supporters of the drivers as well, the teammates who have raced earlier on today. It's great to see them supporting the other teams and the other drivers in Tier 1. But what an enthralling race. I mean, all that time tonight when Richard was pushing Levi the whole way, you really, at any moment, there could be a lead change. And I think it's a great description for the championship, just how close it's been, and the fact now it's even closer. So next week will be enthralling, and it's just a great experience to commentate on these drivers, giving it their all. The best of what South Africa has to offer in sim racing is with the SMA GT500 Championship.
Yes, indeed, I do second that one. Yeah, that was certainly one of the greatest races I've seen, and I've said that on a week-to-week basis. So it just shows you the true level of SMA in Tier 1, and I'm pretty sure it's throughout the tiers as well. But yeah, I just looked at the chat there. Sir Mag said he's not in any tier, but he still wants to get his questions in. So yeah, feel free.
That'll be good.
Indeed. But yeah, Hugh, thank you so much for joining me on what has been an awesome championship and an awesome round 11 at Daytona, and hopefully you have fully enjoyed yourself as well.
Absolutely. No, it's been enthralling, absolutely enthralling, and can't wait for next week. The races have just got better and better. I mean, so many great overtakes, and just real, you can see how the drivers are performing, but also how they're developing. And really very clean racing that we've had in Tier 1. Very encouraging. I think a great basis to go on for the new championships that come on and for Season 2 as well. But really a great race to commentate on, and a fantastic championship to really to watch and to be part of.
Indeed. So it was Leviticus yet again who reigned supreme once again. And yeah, no one can stop him now. He is now confirmed the brand new SMA Season 1 champion. But we still got a great race to follow next week in the Aston Martin Valkyries at Red Bull Ring. So definitely go and tune in. Same place, same time, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Africa time on Monday, the 28th of April. But until then, it's a goodbye from Hugh.
Bye.
And it's a good night from me. Stay safe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.